Today, we're transforming the old Seabury port into a brand new Riverwalk area. We've turned this industrial space into a vibrant mixed-use district right on the water. The path now stretches all the way to downtown, bridging the gap between our old and new districts. And at long last, City Hall is finally finished. I finally built it, guys. Let's get started. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Seabury. Today's episode, we are going to work on transforming the entire riverside. We're going to start close down here by the bus station on the very eastern portion of this Riverwalk area. And we are actually going to take this all the way down the riverbank and connect it up to our old port. Old port is going to see quite the change as we move from the old industrial port where we built our first industry of the city. This is where everything was coming into. And we are going to build this out to a center for people to come to, enjoy their time, and just be a big community space. So let's go ahead and get started with the old port section. We're actually going to go ahead and get rid of all of these buildings, clean this area up, and just get this prepared for the next portion. Okay, so that was quite destructive, and we actually kind of destroyed a couple bus lines here, so we will have to get that reconfigured and drawn out because some of these are just missing their waypoints here, which for the time being, I think I'm just going to go ahead and remove them altogether. Not remove the lines, but remove these waypoints and let these figure out a different path to get there. So with that, we are going to go ahead and start the next process, which is really just to kind of get this area prepped for building as any area would. And then we will start prepping this shoreline to bring this all together. So I think what we're going to do actually first is do the reverse side and prep this area up for getting this all put together. What I do want to do is just make sure that these waypoints are correct so I don't have any issues, which I apparently do. Okay, that was weird. I had to essentially remove those connections and then add them back, and now they work again. So yeah, let's go back to the east side and get that configured after I remove zoning again from this area and delete these. How many times do I have to remove zoning for it to actually remove? I'm gonna go insane. Okay, that should be good now. No more businesses building. Okay, so let's work on getting this up and creating a pathway for here. So what I'm going to do here is actually take this bike and pedestrian path and send it all the way up so that people can use their bikes and walk the path as well. I mean, it's going to be quite the distance, but it'd be pretty cool. And then I'll create some connection points in different areas so that anybody can just get on. They don't have to start way down here and go down. just because I'm going to go ahead and just buy the rights to that island as well. Just because I'm building out in this area, and I want to make sure we have it. So just doing a little bit of review here, this train line right here is bypassing this train station and then heading out and bypassing our city train station to continue on through. And if I'm thinking about this correctly, this is actually doing this because we used to have that cargo yard here. So I think I can actually remove this whole train line down to here, because it's not needed. And then this one will just go through like that. Now I could probably clean this up and make this a little bit nicer, but that might be something I focus on at another episode. So let's continue on this. I'm bringing Grove Street in through here just to kind of give us a little bit more play with some more assets and just kind of build a couple of businesses along the side here, but we will then continue this bike path. Okay, and to get down into this port with this bike and pedestrian path, I might have to get a little creative here because we are out of room. I don't want to extend this port area. I want to keep this water open as much as possible as it currently sits. But to do so, I think I'm going to have to maybe use Road Builder and try this out with Barlow Street. And we're going to adjust this road to make this a little bit narrower and get rid of parking. So we are going to use this as a template and do a 4-lane, so narrow 4-lane road. We're going to drop that speed limit down quite a bit. Well, actually, I don't know if that's an appropriate speed limit or not. So, and I guess if we have the walking path, we don't really need the sidewalk. So I might just do a shoulder here. And it's on the wrong side. Cool. Okay. And we can't really decrease that sidewalk anymore, but we can remove the parking. Now we can, there we go. Now we can. Not that, there we go. I think we'll go with a 3 here. And then yeah, so this will have a narrow sidewalk with a shoulder. Yeah, weird naming. And then I'm fine with trams, and really needs bus access, not tram access, because that's going through here instead. Okay, so let's go ahead and get more of these placed. So we are going to use as a template and place more. And I'm gonna actually do this one as well. Scooch this over as much as possible. Oh, there is clipping issues right there though, so we'll have to fix that. So let's move this over just so slightly. And there's gonna be some more clipping right here. I don't know what's going on there. Gets rid of that sidewalk. We'll bring a pedestrian path in for that. And I think I'm gonna just end it right here, and then they can just get off right there, and that's where the path will end. So let's take that bike path now and send this up. And we're gonna go and key this off, which will actually protect that bike lane a little bit there as well. So that'll be nice. And why is this one not acting appropriately? Because I don't know. Let's see if I can redraw this line and get this connected, and then move on to our next step, because I feel like I am spending a lot of time on this one. And because that was over water, so I actually do need land here. Okay, I think that's going to be the best I can get that. And then we are going to take this and probably swoop it around this way instead. So let's do that. And then I promise we will move on from this part of the project, because I really need to. Okay, so that is the pathway from downtown all the way back to the old port. I think that'll work pretty nicely. I just need to add a couple more paths around and get this all situated correctly. So let's actually just upgrade this back up to a 2-lane road. Maybe not. That's a little too big. We might have to deal with this. I don't know what that is though. It doesn't seem to be bothering anything. It's just kind of really weird. Okay, so for the next part of this, I'm going to go ahead and redesign this area and get this all nice and cleaned up so that we can get ready to start putting assets in here and really start building out this entire Riverwalk area. But we're going to do the infrastructure here first and then probably build it up, and then we'll start filling in this line. Okay, so I think the infrastructure is built out. The only thing I want to do here now is remove some bike lanes off the main road off of, I think that's what, yeah, Atlantic Avenue. So we're going to go ahead and just remove those bike lanes now, because I'd rather them come down here and use this bike lane instead. So I'm just going to remove all those. I'm fine with these being there. I mean, that's not going to do anything. So I tried to get like a ramp here as they get to this point, but and then I think the only different one here, I'm gonna maybe run this down the street instead. And then I added some pathways to get on as well. So and you might have noticed I added a tram route down here. I added 2 different tram routes to this area and added some tram stops. So that will be really cool once we can get that going. But it looks like I might not have enough vehicles for it. Yeah, so no vehicles for the green line, which means I need to probably do a tram upgrade, of course. So let's just see, I have 18 of 18 out there. And yeah, I need one more. I need literally a single more, one more. That's frustrating. So we will add just a small little tram depot. And I went ahead and removed the one that was over here because I just didn't want it here. But now I'm gonna, I guess, add it right back in. But we're gonna add it to not right there exactly. So I think I'm gonna just add it down here by this train station, which should be fine because it'll still have road access right there. Okay, and so the next step here, I actually want to just adjust a little bit of this port. I know we said, I said that I didn't want to really change this too much. However, I'm gonna just change the shape just a slight bit. I'm actually going to take Bellwood Street all the way out and then kind of get this more to a point rather than have this big boxy looking thing here on the end. So we're going to go ahead and just do a little bit of demolition and then come in here and take a pedestrian street and take this all the way through to about this point. Bring it over just a little bit, and I'm going to do a little bit of terraforming so I don't have too many issues here. And we'll actually leave this part here and then just connect it like so. So a slight different shape there, but not too bad. So hopefully you guys can forgive me there. Let's go ahead and make these keys as well. Okay, so the next step here is to not have water here. So what I'm gonna do here is just increase the elevation a little bit, get that water out of there, come back in and just fix that. There you go, force the water out and then just fix there. So I think we'll be good. I know there's a little bit of water here, but I don't think that's gonna cause too many problems unless this is just, actually, is that too low? That's one, that's one. I think it's at 1 meter. Okay, I think we'll be fine. Should be fine. We'll just let that figure itself out. Okay, so I know I said I wasn't going to do that, but I just did it anyway because it was actually starting to bother me. The other thing that's bothering me with this layout is this is now kind of a weird segment because this came out. So what we're going to do here is just move this road down just a little bit and connect it right here at this corner instead. So we have a nice even path there, and we will get rid of that the tram loop there and redraw that line. So the next thing here that I want to do in Riverwalk is to actually start placing down some of the buildings. For this, we're going to do a mixture of signature buildings, some tourist attractions, and then also do some basic, housing. Get some good housing in here so that we actually do have a population here and the businesses here can actually live because there are shoppers. So the first thing I want to do is actually get down some of these signature buildings. And the first one I want to place is the Ice Flake Arena. This is a newer building from one of the recent updates, and this one is such a cool asset. This is going to be our premier basketball stadium, so it's something that I definitely want to get placed down. Now, the key part here is going to be finding a location for it, which could go there, but I do have this road, so I'd have to get rid of that road, which, again, that's fine. The other spot could be here-ish area, or I could potentially squeeze it in here if I just get rid of, Cherry Street. I could potentially get in here, but I'd have to get rid of this one way, which is a tram line, which again, I shouldn't be limited to what to do based off of what I've already placed down. The other option here is to, like I said, take out Pinehurst Street and then place it there, or even go into Harley a little bit. I would like to keep it in Riverwalk though, so that is something that I'm going to do. And to do this, I'm probably actually going to get rid of Cornflower Street and fix that tram loop, and we will just extend this just a little bit here. So let's get this place down first, and then we will build around it. So I was messing with this a little bit, and I decided I actually wanted maybe do a custom tram road with the singular road. So what we're gonna do here is just go ahead and rebuild this because I accidentally deleted this. Didn't want that. And then I'm gonna come in here into Road Builder and try to do something similar to what we've done down there and just add a tram road itself. So let's add a tram track. Are we on the right side this time? Let's see. Nope. So I want to get rid of that tram. I want to get rid of that tram. And this is on the wrong side, so let's throw that back over there. We are going to reverse that so that it connects properly. And then I'm going to actually throw a median in between, just to kind of have it a little bit separated. I go a little narrower on the sidewalks, get rid of parking on this street. I'm not gonna want that. And then we're gonna cut this down to about 3. So that gives us 2 meters, 4 meters total on both sides, which means this could be a 3 and a 1, but I do want this to be might take this down to about a 2. Gives me the extra meter there. So So that should work out the same width as the street. There will be a little bit of a turn there, which will be fine. With manipulation mode, I can bring this back just a little bit, and that should, yes, create that smoother connection. Same with this, we'll bring it back at about there. Perfect. Now I can come in here and should be able to add another tram stop right outside the stadium to fix this broken connection, and then add that stop. There we go. So this is going to be the one that's probably going to get used the most, but we've got stops on all sides. So with that placed down, I'm going to move on to the next thing, and that's going to be more signature buildings. So the first thing I want to do is add a couple bars, because that's going to be a necessary thing around a sports stadium like this. So I do want to create a couple more streets here just to get some additional things in here. So let's go ahead and create a couple small pedestrian streets and get a little bit of a area going. So we've got a pretty good Riverwalk area built out. Now I would like to fill it with assets that don't require parking, because I generally don't want people driving on these streets. So I would love to have more assets like this where there is no parking. It even says no parking. So some of these assets do have parking with it, with parking, like the Fox Hunt Pub might be a good one. So probably come in here and let's just find that if we can. And it generally looks like it doesn't. So that's perfect then. But I'm not sure that it fits the area. That's the problem. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to get this all loaded in. And then we'll do a little bit of detailing around the Ice Lake Arena and this part of Riverwalk, and then move on to the next part. Okay, so we are about complete with the Riverwalk area. We've got just a little bit more to go, but this looks pretty good. I've mixed it with some residential, some mixed use housing. We've got some businesses in here. We've got some businesses that don't have enough customers, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm not super or this super and supper and restaurant. It's making a profit. It's just saying not enough customers, but there should be plenty of customers in here. And at the worst case scenario, I'll just add more customers. We have the demand to add more customers, so we could definitely do that. So this area is almost complete. The only thing that really needs to be done is to finish this little peninsula here and add a ferry terminal. And once that's done, then we can continue moving on down the Riverwalk area and get all the way downtown. So we're going to go back into a bit of a time lapse here in a moment, but let's go ahead and just work on getting this ferry terminal placed first. So first thing I'm going to need is going to be that ferry depot. And this thing is a large asset, so I'm not going to put it up here. I'm actually going to put it down towards here. And actually I might just put it back this way instead. And then I'll build out to it with the road. We are going to drop this down to a 1-lane road, I believe. Let's see. Connect it up there. I think I can actually just go with a 1-lane. I think that'll be fine. This will curve that way, and then we'll turn this into a 1-lane. And then I just want to get rid of some of these stoplights. We don't need this one. And we don't need those crosswalks for that, because they can cross there. So that would be fine. And then now we've got this ferry depot. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw the boat lines first, and then we can get everything connected up after that. Well, we can build some ferry stops and then get everything connected up. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get this. Now, I fought with this for about 2 hours. So this has been killing me here. It has really been beating me. I'm not gonna lie there. But turns out what I was fighting was just a bug. So that's great. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just have to do this one. I think that will be fine. I'll do a light terraforming here, and probably if I can do any terraforming here. Oop, that's the wrong way. Yeah, I guess I will just have to do a lot of detailing there with some trees and rocks and stuff, which is no big deal. So let's go ahead and get this ferryway set up. So we're gonna come out this way. This helicopter flying by is very loud. I don't know if you can hear that, but oh my, it's very loud. And then we're gonna just set up a couple stops on the way through here. So we'll put one there. And I don't exactly know where anything's going yet, so these ferry stops could end up changing later on. There. Put one by the tram. And of course, we'll get one down here as well. So let's get some more pathways here set up. And I'm gonna leave these going. That way, if I do end up creating bypasses and some like express routes or whatever, then that'll be fine. Okay. And then lastly, it's just to connect these all up. Now, the problem here is that this is going to do a little circle, and it's kind of annoying. And this is what I fought for several hours yesterday when I was recording this originally, and turns out that's just how it works. Like, that's how many people see this, unfortunately, and I think that is the dumbest thing ever. Somebody tell me if that's a good idea or a bad idea, or should I just try to figure out how to get it to go right back down the line? We are going to call this the STA ferry, Riverwalk ferry. And we'll leave that blue. And we're going to drop this definitely down to 0 ticket price because we don't charge for transportation in the city. And yeah, we'll do 2 assigned vehicles for now. If that goes up, then we'll add more. But with the amount of trams and trains and buses, I don't know how much it's gonna actually get used, but here they come. And one of them's gonna go back. All right, so we got the ferries done, and now it's time to just continue working on the rest of Riverwalk. We're gonna work on getting this all nicely detailed up. We'll finish this peninsula as well to get something there for the ferry stop as soon as people get off. This is something that I want to be like, so we'll get this all wrapped up here, and then I will work on down here. We'll probably add commercial and housing all through here, maybe some row homes, just make this look really nice. And then we'll move on down here, get some maybe restaurants and more commercial, maybe even again some more housing, and just really work on some of this demand and get this going all the way down through. So I'm going to go back into another time lapse to wrap this part up and just get this all detailed up. So enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side. The Riverwalk is absolutely finished. Mostly. I think it's finished for now. This was a very hefty project. I did not realize how big this project was actually going to be, but we included a lot. So let's just do a little bit of a tour here just so we can see what's going on. So down here at the very beginning, we've got some office buildings from the new office pack, which was the Office Evolution Creator Pack, which was pretty cool. We got some high density commercial buildings here that I zoned in, and now I just want to come in and just adjust a little bit. I didn't do too much detailing down here. I kind of wanted to just leave this for now. I might come back at another time and detail some things up. There's a big parking lot here because we did add a college here, Seabury Heights College. I thought that was going to be a good little fit for that, and it does get our capacity up to where we need it to be. I did a little underground path here underneath this bridge so it wasn't across, and then took that all the way into another bike route over there. So I thought that was cool. I also added a modern city hall, which this will just be called Seabury City Hall, or just actually City Hall. Yep. And then Brightwater High School as well. Needed to get the education up. Added some different signature buildings down here to add to some of the commercial demand down here. We got some more residential, a lot of residential, some mixed use housing, and then I just wanted to taper that down in density and to our row homes, which we have a new row home district called the Line District. I guess that should be the row district, but I wanted to go from the line, the historic line, and just going all the way down. But it would make sense to be the row district. Also added a Whole Foods marketplace. The line continues down. I had a bunch of industry demand while I was doing this, so I did just go ahead and add a bunch of industry here along the train yard because I didn't have too much commercial or office demand at the time. This will probably change. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna probably change over time. And then of course, once we get down to the Riverwalk area, we've got our transportation area, which we already saw. I did add a park here, which was just simple pathing and some trees. Thought that was cool. We got this residential area, which is right next to the tram station. We added the post office. We have some different businesses here. Again, more mixed use in residential, and then along with like some sports bars, but we are seeing not enough customers. So I'm gonna have to figure that out and get more customers down here, of course, which might just be increasing the demand down here, like we already did with this high density residential building, which kind of gives this a little bit of another skyline, which I don't hate. I could increase the density down here and just change the way out here looks. I haven't touched out here in a very long time, so it's very low density out here, which isn't too much of a problem, but we could see this change over time and develop. Of course, we talked about the basketball stadium here, Ice Flick Arena, and then I've also added the Spin Vista Park and the Western Observation Tower, along with a little carousel. And then lastly, we got the Oceanarium down here, which does see some customer issues occasionally. It could just be the fact that there's no residential down here, so it kind of does suck for that player. And I couldn't quite figure out what to do there, so I just put a little plaza there for now. I need to do something there. I do know that. So yeah, guys, this is Seabury. The Riverwalk is complete. That was a very, very long process for me. I don't know. Well, hopefully it was a good watch for you. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. I love interacting with each and every one of you and getting new ideas for what I should do next. I finally hit 500 subscribers, And with that, also, I have unlocked a membership for YouTube. Not required, but hey, if you want the videos a little bit earlier, that is definitely something that you could do. I have two different tiers, a 99-cent tier and then a $2.99 tier. This will get you shout outs, on-screen credits, and then again, you'll get early access to these videos by a couple days before the rest of the public hits them. So be sure to join that. But guys, until next time, have a good one. Goodbye.